What's going on, guys? This is JT and my brother-in-law Zach. We just drove from Durango, Colorado all the way to my house in New Boston, New Hampshire, which was a total of like, what was that? Was it 2,450, I think?
2,500 miles.
Yeah, 2,500 miles straight all the way there. And we made a couple stops along the way. We just wanted to tell you guys about our trip. Our first stop was, where was our first stop? It was at the Motel 6, right?
Yeah, in Iowa.
In Iowa.
Iowa.
Yeah, which was like...
I mean, we did like 850 or 900 miles that day.
Was that the first day? It was 950?
Yeah, we drove through Colorado and took shifts about every 300 miles, about a tank of fuel.
Mm-hmm.
And then made the swap, and then drove all through the night, and then, was it like 8 or 9 o'clock? I think we came into Iowa. It was like, we need some sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, we were like dead tired. And then so as soon as we got to Iowa, it was the craziest thing. Zach was looking online. He's like, where should we wake up and drive in the morning?
What was in Chicago? We're waiting for a room to be made. That's what was doing. And we're looking for things to do, you know? And it was like, hey, what's in Chicago? And we saw this aquarium, and it was like, hey,
that's what it was.
This looks pretty cool, you know? And then I was looking on Google Maps, and I'm like, hey, Trump Tower is like right here in Chicago.
As soon as he said Trump Towers is here, baby, we both looked at each other and we're like, yeah, we're going to stay at Trump Tower. How can we not? So, of course, we booked a room right in Trump Tower. Sick room. We were on like the 27th floor or something crazy like that, way up at the top.
Got like 4 hours of sleep in Iowa.
Yeah.
And then was like, hey, we just get 4 hours sleep. If we leave at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, get something to eat, and then just head. We're going to drive.
Yeah, so we drove for like 16 hours from Durango to Iowa, and then immediately we only took a 4-hour nap and shot straight to Chicago because we didn't want to get there too late because it was crazy. The room at the Trump Hotel was insanely expensive, so we were like, well, we don't really want to waste it all the way. Yeah. So we left at 2 and ended up getting there by 9 p.m. at night. Yeah, and so at least gave us the night there, and then we went out to eat there.
Totally unplanned. That whole trip to Chicago was just unplanned, you know? And then
completely winged it.
All right. This guy gave us 2 selections of like, hey, where's a good place to get a steak? Remember?
Yeah,
and he's like, they named off like Benny's and some other place.
This is the guy at the Trump Plaza.
Right. And it's like 10 o'clock probably. Yeah. And we went and we're just walking. We get completely turned around, went down the wrong way when we're leaving.
That's how I roll with directions. Absolutely terrible.
Just walking down Michigan Avenue and across the street, I'm like looking at this place and I'm like, yo, that says Michael Jordan Steakhouse. And it's like, he looked at
I was like, what?
He looked at me, and I'm like, we need to go. Like, you're like,
I didn't even know Michael Jordan had a steakhouse, but of course we're downtown Chicago, so we're like, okay, we're definitely checking that out. Go inside. We're talking the best steaks we have ever had in our life.
Unbelievable.
It was a $60 filet. Oh my God, we ate those things. They were so good, man. I was like, what?
And then a 23 layer
melted
cake
in your mouth.
Oh yeah.
And then on top of that, for dessert, of course we had margaritas while we were there as well. But then they had the dessert, and for dessert it was a 23 layered chocolate cake for Michael Jordan's number. What was it like? Fudge.
Yeah, it was chocolate fudge and like mousse, but I mean, we split it between us and still didn't finish it.
No, it was absolutely insane.
The best place. Then walked around Chicago for a little while.
Yeah.
Walked around down on Michigan Ave, and then
that was really cool. The Chicago roads were nuts.
Yeah.
How the tunnels and how the underpasses were, they were crazy. So then we ended up leaving Chicago the next morning. Milo, what are you doing, dog? So happy to see us, man. So then we ended up leaving the next morning, and we drove from Chicago straight to Foxwoods in Connecticut. Yeah. No breaks, no nothing. So drove another 14 hours.
We got there like, I think we got there like 6:30 in the morning, just absolutely like one eye open, getting tired. Just like
6 in the morning. We started driving at 2, was it 2?
Right. Yeah, well, we were gonna stop. We were gonna stop at like, we woke up at 11 or so at Trump Tower just after being so, you know, exhausted of driving. I mean, it was nice roads. That was the nice thing. Unbelievably scenery. Like, you were tired, but you didn't want to go to sleep and see, you know, what you were gonna miss.
Exactly. Yeah, so that was pretty sweet. So then we ended up getting to Foxwoods at 6 a.m. and just went to sleep that night. And we're like, you know what? The next night we're going to wake up and, of course, gamble a little bit. And you guys know how I do. And Zach's like, man, I haven't really done anything at a casino before. I'm like, well, here's your options. I'm like, bro, you can join me. What I'm doing is I'm buying in with $2,000. If you want to buy a certain percentage of that $2,000, you're more than welcome to. So he throws up $400 to start. And we go to the first roulette wheel. Yeah. Oh, baby. First number.
Unreal. I mean, we walked...
0?
First, we walked
no, it was 17, wasn't it?
We walked through there to go shopping, and we're looking at the roulette boards. And then as we were just talking, what's your favorite number? I'm like, 2. And then you're like, 0, 2, and 17 were on the board. And we're like, all right, we'll be back. We're going to go shopping, get some shopping done.
Exactly.
And then came back, and then JT and I by $400, and then... Where's the first roll was like, I think 17 or something. I don't know what the number was.
It was 17. We had it starred.
We made $1,400 right there. And it was like, both looked at each other. And it was like, dude.
Oh, no. This is what happened the first roll. It hit 0. That's right. Because it hit 0 because we had 25 on it, 25 split, and then 25 in the little three-way. For a total of like $1,400 bucks on the first spin.
$1,400 and being like, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's go from here. So then you guys know how I rolled. The very next spin, I doubled the bet. I put $50 on everything we just had $25 on. Then we smashed 17 for like, it was like $23.50.
Yeah,
I was
like, we hit like 12, 20, 17, and 00. And then
you guys know we're betting Tom Brady with the 12.
And
it was
just,
murder.
Just people looking at us with like,
we were at $12,000.
People,
we went from $2,000 to $12,000 within 5 roulette spins. And then we ended up losing. I made a huge bet. I bet like $4,000 in one spin, which was just a crazy. So you look back and you say like, oh, that might have been a mistake. But then at the same time, it's like, dude, if that spin hits, we are stacking.
We hit 4 rolls in a row.
Yeah, and so what happened was,
couldn't be.
And with this $4,000 spin, I still bet the same numbers, and it landed in 35 on the roulette wheel, right next to 14 and 23, which we had murdered. If it would have hit those numbers, we were looking at $14,500. So then talking big boy money.
All in all, though, it was an awesome trip.
Yeah, it was.
We went in there with limited, just sort of expectations were 0, and it just, it
ended up walking out with a big profit, and also it just put the icing on the cake to the entire trip.
Perfect end of
perfect
trip.
Why not?
I
just won myself basically a new computer that I'm about to buy with my winnings. He just got himself a new set of tires for his truck.
Right. Yeah, it was awesome. Either way, win or lose, that would have been, just how it was. We had 2 rooms that were comped for 2 nights.
Yep.
It just... When we got there at 6:30 in the morning, JT's like, yo, let's just get some breakfast. And then breakfast in bed, my first time.
6:30 in the morning.
My first time, lady rolls in, pancakes, eggs, toast. And it's dude, I'm eating and I'm going to bed after
That's how it was.
Like 14 hours straight in the car.
With food.
Living on Red Bull and Monster and some crappy potato chips.
Well, that's it, fellas. That was the drive. And this morning we drove back to my house here in New Hampshire. So I am home. We'll be posting more videos soon. See you guys out of here. Peace out, fellas.
See you guys.